Hi, everybody. Joe Jaffe here. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes. Coming up tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, we're going to talk about the tropical conditions that continue in pretty much the eastern half of the United States, which means hot and humid conditions and the risk for showers and thunderstorms and severe weather. Also, a tropical wave is moving through the greater Antilles, and we'll be talking about the track going forward and what will happen when it reaches the eastern Gulf of Mexico over the weekend. So that's all tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, and that's at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a hot day. It's in the low to middle 90s. Some places are pushing to the upper 90s at the moment. We've got dew points in the low 70s in many locations in eastern Pennsylvania to southern and central New England. It's a little cooler as you go up to the north, but it's just as humid. And this is just going to go on for another couple of days as we go into the weekend. And of course, with all this tropical air around, we got to look for the possibility of some thunderstorms. Now, at least for today, the mechanisms for thunderstorms are, they're not that impressive. However, it wouldn't be a shocker if some showers and storms do pop up. I think they'll be scattered in nature late this afternoon and this evening, which means some of you get them, some of you don't. And there is the possibility that there could even be an isolated severe thunderstorm in the mix as well. Tomorrow, we have this upper trough back in the western Great Lakes that is moving eastward, and that is going to be enhancing thunderstorm activity both tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, as well as Saturday. And also on Sunday, there's a cold front associated with this, and that is pushing slowly eastward, but it's going to take a while before it gets there. And on the lower right-hand corner, you can see the tropical wave that is now moving over the Dominican Republic with gusty thunderstorms, but nothing organized at this point. However, it is going to make its way westward and probably into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. We're going to come back to this in just a bit. Radar, as of 2 o'clock Eastern Time, you're seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms popping up in the east, but they are widely scattered. We're also seeing some severe activity in southern Illinois. And then with this upper trough coming into play, we'll probably see more showers and thunderstorms develop in the Ohio Valley, back to the upper Mississippi Valley later this afternoon and into tonight. The Storm Prediction Center has much of Ohio, Indiana, southern Illinois, and Kentucky, and a small portion of West Virginia in a slight risk for severe weather. You see general thunderstorms, mainly for Pennsylvania and New Jersey to the Hudson Valley, back to the Catskills in western New York. Then there's a gap of little to no thunderstorm activity forecast as you go further to the north, only to pick up again in Maine. The tornado risk today is 2% in the Ohio Valley and also in an area in central and southern Wisconsin. As we roll ahead to tomorrow, at least for now, we have a marginal risk to set from central Long Island to the Hudson Valley across Pennsylvania, except the extreme northern part of the state. It covers all of New Jersey, all of the mid-Atlantic states into the southeast, back to the Appalachians, and into parts of the Ohio Valley. Also, a marginal risk in eastern Colorado, a marginal risk in southwest Arizona. For the area that's in the east, it wouldn't shock me if we wind up seeing a slight risk appear tomorrow when SPC updates its forecast. And then for Saturday, we have a marginal risk from central Georgia all the way up into southwestern New England. And here, too, I wouldn't be shocked at all if we wind up seeing an area of slight risk being added. And also, we have a marginal risk back through parts of Minnesota and into the Dakotas. As far as rainfall is concerned, over the next 7 days, with all these thunderstorms, 1.5 to maybe as much as 2.5 inches from southern New England down through Pennsylvania and New Jersey, back over into parts of Maryland and Delaware. And of course, when you're dealing with thunderstorms, you have to account for the fact that some of those will be locally heavy, so rainfall amounts could wind up being double what's forecast. The 1.5 inch area goes back west into Ohio and covering parts of the northern lakes. I'm sorry, the lower lakes. And in the southeast, but particularly over Florida, with this tropical system moving into play, WPC, the Weather Prediction Center, already indicating an area of 10 inches or more of rain coming in from just offshore into parts of northwest Florida. So we'll see this forecast likely to be adjusted over time once we get a handle on what this tropical system will or won't do. And flash flooding today indicated in the area of severe weather risk from northern Tennessee and Kentucky northwestward into Wisconsin, also in parts of the southwest and southern plains. Tomorrow, we've got marginal risk for flash flooding extending to northern New Jersey and New York City and parts of western New England, westward to the Ohio Valley and into the lower lakes, and a slight risk area in Kentucky and southernmost Ohio. And then as we move on to day 3, which is for Saturday into Sunday morning, marginal risk from New Hampshire and Vermont, southwestward to Virginia and North Carolina. And also we see a marginal risk appearing in central and southern Florida. Again, that is with the tropical moisture. Just want to show you the initial guidance from this system is just coming out now. We don't have the hurricane tracking models yet. We will have them tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show. This is the GFS ensemble track, and you got all the members of all the members of the GFS going in all sorts of different directions, but the line to really focus on is the average, the mean, and this is the track that's being forecast. And I think that track pretty much makes sense based on some of the guidance that we've been looking at with respect to this particular system. And when we take a look at what the GFS is doing today, we seeing, of course, the scattered storms in the east and in the Ohio Valley, the severe weather that moves on through. Hot and humid for the rest of today, hot and humid tomorrow. Just a repeat performance of today. Only difference will be that there's probably a better chance for thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening. You can see the GFS is rather bullish on rainfall amounts from Tennessee and North Carolina northeastward into southern New England, back into the Ohio Valley. Then on Saturday, as the cold front approaches, Friday storms are as the initial upper trough approaches, and then we've got the cold front coming on Saturday with late day showers and thunderstorms from Maine all the way down to the Florida Panhandle. If you look off the Florida coast, you can see a couple of closed isobars. So that's probably what the model is seeing with regards to the tropical system. The front's going to stall on Sunday, right on top of us, right on top of the East Coast. So more showers and thunderstorms are possible later in the day into Sunday night. And of course, the GFS is forecasting this system to intensify a bit into a tropical storm and moving inland somewhere along the west coast of Florida. But there's a lot of uncertainty with this regarding the overall track because upper air steering currents are not all that particularly strong. And here's what it looks like on the loop this afternoon as we take a look at this. Let me just get rid of that. And here's your tropical wave. Seeing convection has been increasing since yesterday, still not showing signs of organization. It is tracking toward the west northwest. And again, I think the ultimate destination is probably going to be somewhere off the southwest coast of Florida in the eastern Gulf of Mexico over the weekend. So we will, of course, be watching this very, very carefully, and as well as our own weather, particularly with the severe weather risk. And don't forget, tonight, the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast is going to be at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. So we will see you then.